then we would have roots, not feet. A tree has roots, it doesn't move anywhere. But human beings are not stagnant. In fact, many times I tell people we are travelers on a journey. The journey might be long, the journey might be slow, but we're traveling. Each one of us is traveling. And we have no option. Because time moves on. And as time passes, our circumstances and situations keep changing. So change and moving on, moving forward is a natural aspect of life. Everybody has to keep changing physically, mentally, and spiritually. You have absolutely no choice. You have to move on. Think about a body. You know, your body is born, it's a little baby. Did you have a choice how long you stayed a baby? No. You just had to grow according to the natural law of nature. In the same way, your mind. The mind also develops according to certain mental development aspects, you know, as you go from child to adolescent to adult. And it's the same spiritually. Actually, we are all spiritually moving on. I guess the question is, am I just being pushed by the winds of change? You know, something happens, I get pushed this way, I get pushed that way. Or am I consciously moving myself in the direction that I want to? Are people moving me in the direction they want me to go to? Is time just, you know, shuffling me along? Or am I really having the conscious feeling that I have an aim and I'm moving towards my aim? Because if you don't have an address that you're going to, you'll just take any road. Yes, you'll keep moving, but you might actually be going around in circles and you don't know. Remember the days when we didn't have GPS and you couldn't see where you were going. I'm not very good with spatial arrangements anyway. And I can take lots of turns and come back to the same place many times before realizing what's going on. Thank God for GPS now. But, you know, the reality is we keep moving and we keep striving for betterment. It's naturally inbuilt in the human soul to want to move forward, to want to create change. In fact, to come to a place of betterment. I think probably one of the big issues that has come up for a lot of humanity is that we strive for betterment in physical things. We strive for betterment monetarily. You know, we want to have bigger bank balances, bigger houses, bigger cars, better this, better that. And we forget that along with that, in parallel with that comes our inner growth. It's not just the external growth. It's also the internal growth that matters. And that internal growth is really something that we need to be very consciously aware of and make sure that we're taking steps in the right direction. So the fact that many of you have joined the call today, or you've come here in person, means something inside you wants to move ahead, isn't it? If you didn't want change in your life, if you didn't want to change in the direction that you want to, you wouldn't have joined. Because life would have changed things anyway. But this workshop is about being the best you, aiming for the best me, wanting to be the best me as time moves me forward. And so, you know, we think sometimes that we're stuck. Many times people come to Inner Space and go, I'm so stuck. So why is it that I feel stuck when life is always moving me along? Anyone felt stuck before? I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. And then you look for answers. You look for solutions. You look for somebody to come and help you to move on. So even being stuck is actually part of the journey. To feel like I don't know what to do is one of the best feelings in life. Why? Because when I feel a bit stuck, all it means is I'm kind of going from this way of thinking to a higher platform of thinking. Or if I can use another metaphor, I have to dig deeper within myself to find deeper meaning to life. The reason I feel stuck is because I'm trying to address a challenge in life with the way that I did it previously. And it's not working. Or it's not working to the extent that I want it to work. Because something inside me tells me that I can achieve something better. So basically what I'm saying is the old formula that I was using is not working in this situation. It's not giving me the result I want. And so I'm looking for something greater, something wiser, something bigger, something better within me. And that's the only reason people feel stuck. Even that being stuck at certain intervals in our life is just a reflection of the fact that I'm actually taking an upward step. You know what happens when you feel stuck? You feel like you have no solution. You feel like you don't have answers. You feel like all the doors in your life have closed. Have you felt like that before? You know, I don't know where to go. Everything I thought I wanted to do is not there. And yet we know that, I mean, I could open one of the old doors and go backwards, but I don't want to do that. So when we get to these places where we feel like life is not moving, it's actually me not moving. Life is moving, but I need to jump higher. I need to jump further. So life is a process of constant change, and we are in a process of constant change. You know, when the body is paralyzed or when you break a leg or something, what happens? You get confined to a place, don't you? You're sitting in a chair, your leg is in plaster. What do doctors tell you to do? And I know because somebody in my family just broke her ankle and her fibula and had a plaster on. The physiotherapist said, keep moving your toes. Make micro movements. Even though the plaster is heavy, even though it's difficult to, sit in a chair all day, every day, or lie down. Keep moving other parts of the body that are triggering movement and circulation in that area. Why? Because movement means life. Stagnation is death. And I honestly believe that the youth of today are not in a very good place because nobody is teaching them how to think. Today in the morning, we had a class and we were talking about ChatGPT and how now you don't even have to use anything up here to write an essay. I mean, what is the world coming to? When I didn't have a mobile phone 22, 23 years ago, I used to remember phone numbers in my head. Is anybody my age who used to do that? You remember? I was so good with phone numbers, even 8-number, 10-digit, phone numbers, and I would know them, And the funny thing is, the phone numbers I knew 25 years ago, I haven't forgotten them.
Yes.
Right? The phone number of the place I lived before I came to Abu Dhabi, I remember the phone number of that place. But you ask me the phone number of my mother and father, I don't know it because they have mobile phones. My mobile phone knows their number, but I don't know it. Isn't it strange how life has moved on? So first came the fact that we didn't collect this information. The phone collected it. Now, you don't need to know anything. Just go to Google and Google tells you. And in this year, we've jumped up another level. You don't need any creativity. AI is writing your essays for you. AI is making drawings for you. You just tell AI what you want. I have a very good friend, who's very, very skilled in technology, and he knows how to just punch in words, and he gets different beautiful drawings, maybe more beautiful than a human being can produce. Is that really moving on though? Technologically, we may have moved on, but has the creative, reflective ability within the soul been able to move on? One of the things that perhaps push me ahead more than anything else is the practice of personal reflection. Personal reflection is a way by which I actually turn within and I look at myself. And I ask myself, what could I do better? And I've seen in my own life that when I do this process of personal reflection, I don't feel stuck. If I'm regularly reflecting and I'm regularly checking in with myself, what happens is I'm constantly growing. If I'm constantly growing, it means that I'm content with the inner change, the inner movement that's happening. Even if life throws me a challenge, the wheels are in motion already. And I just use the wheels that are in motion to find a solution. But when we stop learning, it's almost like the wheels inside become stuck. And after some time, the wheels become rusty. And I feel with a lot of our younger generation, because they're not being taught to reflect and use the inner wheels, they're starting to become extremely dull in their ability to be good human beings. They're relying more and more on external technology to come up with solutions and answers. You know, before, when a woman at the age of 20 had a child, you needed to find solutions as to what to do when the child cries. These days, what do people do? They Google, my child is crying, what should I do? It's a strange situation, isn't it? You know, it's a bit like when you're on a bicycle. You have to keep pedaling to stay on. If you stop pedaling on a bike, what happens? You fall off. When a plane flies, it has to maintain a certain momentum. Otherwise, it will fall down. So it's the same, moving on in life. You will always be moving on that path, on that road, which we call life. It's a journey. The choice that you have is the direction you move in, the speed you move at. And the third thing is you have choice on the way you see what happens around you. You know, when you're traveling on the highway, you travel from Abu Dhabi to Dubai or whatever. There's so many scenes around you, so many things that change. And you often notice, you know, oh, that's different, this is happening, that's happening, right? I didn't see that last time we came. The way I see things, the way I perceive things is within my hands. The direction I go in is within my hands. The speed at which I go is within my hands. Only if I'm aware. And to maintain that awareness, I need this power to be able to reflect on my inner world. Physically, you have no option. Your body will get older. But mentally and spiritually, we do have the choice in how we move on. I mean, even physically, to be honest with you, if a body has no movement and it just sits down, somebody sits in front of the computer and works, very sedentary job. You know, I can tell you from my experience that the body will start to break down quite quickly. So if I want to move ahead and I want the body to stay healthy, then I need to offer it what it needs in terms of nourishment and movement. And that's exactly the same here. I have the choice today to grow and to be the best that I can, or to collapse and just be the way life treats me and pushes me. So I come up with a little formula for all of you before I open up to a few questions. And the formula is an ABC formula. A stands for to accept. Accept every twist and turn on your journey. Accept it not because you have to accept it and it's your duty, but accept it, understanding that everything that comes to me, every experience, even though some feel right and some feel wrong, some feel easy, some feel difficult, just accept that everything comes for a reason and everything comes with a lesson. And when I say lesson, it's not a harsh lesson. Everything comes to teach me something good. Even the toughest challenges you've had in your life, usually what they do is they actually propel you to the highest growth. Accept yourself. Accept that you are unique. And some of us are a bit more weird than others, right? But accept that you are a unique human being. You don't need to compare yourself with others. You don't need to compete with others. You are yourself, and you will always be someone special. No matter what anyone says to you, no matter how they judge you, you accept yourself. So accept yourself and accept your journey. That's the first key to moving ahead, moving along, and choosing your own direction. Because in that acceptance, when you see what's happening in your life, it will give you clues as to which direction you should go in. You know how sometimes a lesson comes, and you get a lesson from life, and then you kind of ignore it. You don't want to learn, but then the same lesson comes again the next year. So you have a difficult person and you kind of ignore them and you don't, but then another difficult person comes. And they don't stop coming until I don't learn something. And so if I don't accept this journey of life, it's almost like I am rejecting the signals that I'm getting. And I'm not actually learning. So that's the A. The B. Be the best that you can be. And what do I mean by that? If you had to write the qualities of the best human being you can think of, in fact, not just one, but pull out the qualities of the best human beings you know in your life. Your mother, your auntie, your colleague, your whoever it might be. There's a lovely little exercise I do. Should we do it together? Think of 3 people in your life that you admire. Can you think of 3 people? They may be people who live around you. They may be people in your past. They might just be people who you've read about, but you never met. So it might be someone like Sheikh Zayed or Mahatma Gandhi or whatever. Think of 3 people in your life that you admire. Okay. So it's good actually if you have a piece of paper, but we're just going to do this quickly because it's not a proper workshop. Now think about 3 qualities in each human being, or maybe it's too much for 3, 2 qualities of each human being. So if you chose, for example, your mother, maybe love. Most mothers know what will you choose? Love, right? Maybe you'll choose gentleness. So for each of those 3 human beings, choose 2 qualities that you admire. So you have 6 qualities. If you have your phone or a piece of paper, you can write them. It's a nice exercise to do as a workshop, but just to give you an idea of how you can get to know yourself. So you choose 3 people and you choose 2 qualities each. Now, out of those 6 qualities, I want you to identify 2 that matter the most to you. Because now you have 6 different qualities, 6 different virtues, or whatever you want to call them. I think the Arabic word is fadail, qualities or virtues of the soul. 6 different things. So choose 2 that are the most important to you. Now choose 1. One quality that you admire the most in someone. You got it? Got one quality? Huh? Getting there? You found one? Yeah. And you know who you're talking about? You're talking about yourself. Sorry? Sorry, what did someone say? Was that a quality that you mentioned or? Okay, not sure, but yeah, so whatever you picked, you are actually talking about you. Because whatever you see in others is only a reflection of you. So when I said, be the best that you can be, many people say to me, but how do I know what the best me is? How do I know who I am? And these are some very interesting exercises we can do to get to know ourselves better. You know, these days there are so many personality tests that you can take in organizations, or even, in fact, some people, when they go for job interviews now, they ask them to do personality tests, right? Just to find out what kind of personality you are. But on a spiritual level, to get to know myself, to know my strengths, to know who I really am at the core of my being. It's interesting. Be the best you. Be the best that you can be. Have that aim. That's what I want to achieve. Now, all those 6 qualities, if you think of your life as a road, put them at the end and say, that's who I am. That's the direction I'm moving on in. That's who I want to be. So accept your journey and accept yourself as a unique person. Second is, be the best that you can be. How to know the best? You know it now. Keep that as your aim. And every time you're faced with a challenge, all that life is doing is raising you to one of those 6 qualities, probably that one that you identified. And life is saying to you, use this quality, use one of those at least, and tackle the problem. Don't go down into the old negativity and the weaknesses. And so I told you the step, which was the solution was ABC, right? And the C, what is the C? C stands for see goodness. See goodness in everyone and everything. See meaning in everything. Even if someone is not behaving properly, even if someone is not correct in their behavior, what should I do if I want to move on in my direction? I've got to use one of those 6 qualities, right? That's what we just talked about. Don't see weaknesses. Don't see any negativity. Not because maybe they're not negative, not because they don't have an issue. Don't see it because it's not your core quality. It's not who you are. Look what I have here. Has anyone seen this before? So it says, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. You must have seen these 3 monkeys in many different forms. And now these days they have a 4th one. You know the 4th one? Text no evil. They show a monkey with a phone. Text no evil, forward no evil. Share no evil on the phone, right? So if you want to be the best that you can be, stop seeing weaknesses. Stop seeing negativity. If somebody's behaving in a way that's not right, what do? You stay aligned to your life's journey. Don't allow that negativity to be like the wind on the road that pushes you in a particular direction. Otherwise, what will happen? You'll take an exit, which is called reaction. You'll take an exit called anger. You'll take an exit that's called hatred. You'll take an exit, because when we allow other people to influence our life, then we're not moving ahead in the way that we want to. We're moving ahead based on external influences. then I'm not moving ahead towards my goal. I'm not being the best I can be. So, if you really want to move ahead in life's journey and be the best and see the best, you really have to have this attention, inner attention. Take a lot of care to stay on track. So when you see somebody making mistakes, when you see someone behaving in a way that is not consciously correct, have the courage within yourself to use one of these 6 qualities and approach the situation. Because when you are aligned to your truth, you know what happens? It's a very beautiful concept. You help others to align to their truth. Your energy, your vibrations, whatever you want to call it, your intention of wanting to be a better human being actually inspires others to do the same. But when I am off track, when I am in a state of falsehood, when I'm actually not behaving the right way, people around me, get a subtle message that it's okay to be a little bit wrong. It's okay to make, a few mistakes. It's okay not to be the best. And sometimes being the best also means admitting my own mistakes and being humble. Humility, I think, is one of the qualities that brings the maximum friends. If you want to have friends in life, just learn to be humble. Humility is the opposite of ego. Humility is a position that says, well, I only know what I know. I too am a student of life. I'm also learning. I'm also on a journey. So come and be part of my journey. And when I'm humble, it helps people not have so many expectations of me. Otherwise what happens is people sometimes see you as being this big, perfect person, this guru. And sometimes, some people have expectations that I will never make a mistake. Oh, why did you do that? But if you can just say, look, let me be really humble and say, well, I'm also learning. I'm also part of this journey. I'm also in a state of change, in a state of constant reformation. It helps people to drop their expectations. And when we see others with that vision, if I want to see others with the vision of deep compassion and love, then I need to accept that they too are on a journey and they're learning. And that no matter what happens, they'll get there one day. It may not be the way I want them to get there. It may not be a straight journey for them. Most of us have journeys like this, don't we? Sometimes in retreats and in workshops, we ask people to write their life journey from the day you are born till now. I've never seen anybody write a straight line. The line goes up and down and round and round. And if you ask them, think about all the things that happened in your life that have shaped you today. Has your life's journey been straight? It's not straight at all. The journey has been everywhere. We've been moved around, in all sorts of directions. So if your own journey is like that, then others are the same. They've also been through all their difficulties. They've also been through challenges they never expected. So always see the best, be the best, see the best. See the best means always have the vision of seeing the being, what I call the soul. Don't see the layers around the soul. Do you understand what that means? When we describe people, usually, we don't describe the soul. We describe their personality. So when you think of somebody, if I say, think of your father, think of your boss at work, think of your child, usually you will tell me about their personality. Oh, she's so sweet. Oh, she's such an active child. Oh, he is a very caring boss. And you can write a book about somebody's personality, especially if you know the person very well. But all those things are in motion. Those things are constantly changing. And if I label somebody with that personality and they don't behave according to the personality that I've given them, how do I feel? Any close relationship knows that. You put people in a box and you say, this is who they are, and then they don't behave that way, what happens? You feel disappointed. You feel let down. You feel that they're wrong. So if I want to move ahead in life's journey the way I want to be, I have to learn to keep my vision on either side of the road at a very high level. Because if my vision is high, my perspective, my perception of everything is different. I need to keep such a high vision that even when people make mistakes, even when their personality is a mess, the being inside, the soul, the thinking, feeling one, is good. We were all created by the one creator, and he is good. Creation is good. Yes, life's journey has made us a little bit dented, a little bit different, and that's okay. I come back to accept. So accept everything that's come to you is for a reason. Be the best that you can be. Always aim to use your inner qualities. See the best in others, even when they're behaving in a way that's not accurate. Always see a higher self and a higher them. You know, sometimes your vision on someone helps them to be better than they are. Sometimes when a child has not done well at school, if the mother says to the child, don't worry, you tried the best, next time it will be good. You know, I'll study with you. It gives hope to the child. It helps us to feel like, you know, this is not the end. Just because I failed in the exam, it's not like everything is over. So I think sometimes having that high vision on others, allowing others to really feel that you know them and their goodness better than they know themselves, elevates their status as a soul, elevates their being, elevates their awareness. And that's one of the best things you can ever do towards someone else. And of course, if you make mistakes, to do the same towards you, which is align yourself, be the best you can. Okay, so I'm going to open up for questions for the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Does anyone have any questions that you would like to ask? If you could speak the questions, or if you want to type them in the chat box, then somebody can read them out. So whilst you're thinking of your questions, I'll just say one last thing. Oh, somebody's speaking? Question? Anyone?
Yeah. Good evening. And I wanted to ask, you said we can elevate by putting positive thoughts. But there are some times when you try, but it doesn't happen. And you really try for a long, long time. Then what do? Like, you cannot completely, I agree, you cannot change a person's basic nature or something. But if you want to take the person out of negativity and he's just not ready, what do? After the time, what happens? Much of it is my personal experience that you feel it's not going to work, let's not do it. You know, you get that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
How do you don't have to change, but you can try coming out of that negativity. But if it doesn't work, what do?
Yep. So when the Supreme or the Divine, so when the Supreme or the Divine sees you and sees that you are in a process of change. I mean, I'm 52 years old. He's been trying for 52 years to get me on track. Does he ever give up? No. Are you a mother, Ritti? I assume you're a mother.
Yeah,
Your
I'm a
children,
mother of two.
yeah, you're a mother of two. If your children don't behave the way They should. Do you give up?
Good. What's my answer?
Do you give up, Ritik?
No, I never give up.
You never give up. Why would you give up on any individual?
Ma'am, maybe because with children you can be a little harsh. Maybe with others you can't. Harsh in the sense you won't beat them up, but you can, being elder to them, you can put your kind of pressurize them to
But that's not helping
maybe
them to
in a
learn.
very motherly way,
Yeah.
not pressurized in the wrong way, but yes, in a motherly way, and they might, slowly get into your thing and do it. Matlab that's I'm talking about personal experience, but what you're saying is yes, you can't give up. I agree.
No, we can't give up on anyone. You know, sometimes their process of change, their direction of movement, their journey is different to what we would expect it to be.
Absolutely,
Sometimes people's
absolutely.
qualities and their weaknesses are very different to ours.
True.
But that's okay. That's
Get
their
your answer.
journey. You know, if I maintain good wishes towards someone, a moment will come when they'll be ready for their own change. Even for me to want them to change can sometimes be my own selfishness. Because if I maintain the vision on someone that you will change, you will change, you will change, you will change, I mean, it's none of my business whether someone changes or not. What is my business is the way I use my eyes. And here I don't mean physical eyes. I mean the eye of the mind. If the eye of the mind says, I choose to see you as a good person, even though you're going through difficulty, then it gives them energetically, it gives them hope. It gives them that, enthusiasm. If the vision is, you better change, you're not good as you are, you really want to change, I'm having good visions that you change. That's, in English, the word is condescending. It's like, I think I'm here and I'm looking down at someone. You'd better change. I mean, when did God give us that rule? When did he say, I put you on the earth to judge each other and to look down on each other? Compassion is something that brings equality. And yes, people might be different to us. I mean, I see people killing each other in this world. And I wonder, it's hard for me to even kill an ant. Yesterday I was watering the plants and there were some ants on the wall and I must have killed many because some water went on them. And I thought, I should have been more careful. So how do I feel when I see people killing human beings? And yet I maintain a feeling of mercy and compassion because they were not born violent. Life has made them violent by what they have learned. So they are my brothers too. So, a lot of it is reflection back to me and my vision on others and understanding that everyone's journey has not been as easy as mine, So patience.
Ma'am, one more thing. When you say that if you want the other person to change, that is your perspective that he should change or that person should change. But maybe it is we are really wishing well, so we want him to change, right? Not necessarily for us or for it is solely for him. Then, like, matlab, do you understand how I'm putting the?
I know what you mean. I mean, I would love everyone to be happy and peaceful and loving and, in a good place. But the reality is,
Yeah.
I'm not in charge of their journey. I wish everyone well. Definitely, I have good wishes, but I also accept their journey is theirs. And they will get there in their own time. It's a little bit like with children as well. Each child grows in their own way. Those of you who have more than one child, each child at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, they were different. Their growth was different. Some walked very quickly, some walked slowly. Some learned to be active and agile in their mind very quickly. Some were slower learners. Some asked more questions, others asked less questions. Every child is different, isn't it? So the journey is not going to be the same for everyone. I just have to hold the vision that you are born pure, you will end pure. You are born goodness, you will end goodness. That's it. And I wish you well. But I also leave you to work out your own journey.
Acceptance with patience. Thank you.
Wonderful. Anyone else with a question? Anyone else who's online or let me see if anything's come to me. So anybody else who would like to ask a question, or should we do a little bit of meditation? Any questions or anything that comes to mind? No? So easy? Usually we have people asking many things. That's good. It's good that you're all contented. So does it mean that you all are ready to accept everything that's happened to you as being a part of your life's journey and experience, and it's brought you a lesson? You know, are you ready to accept yourself as being someone so unique and so special? You know, it doesn't mean that you are perfect, but definitely you don't need to be compared with anyone. Are you ready to be the best in every situation? That the biggest challenges that come to you mean that you will pick one of your qualities and use them. Rather than reacting from your negative side, you just press the pause button and say, hang on, let me pick something good, because that's my best self. And are you ready to see the best in everyone, see goodness, even when they're not behaving properly? It's okay, it's part of their journey. Let me keep my highest vision on them. Keep sending good energy, because they will get there. And their journey is none of my business. So I think one last thing to say is that with anything in life, we need to train ourselves. And so if I want to move ahead and I want to keep moving upwards, I need to train my mind to work in a way that is giving me the best output. And meditation or reflection is a way of affirming to myself that I am a good person and I have the strength, the capacity to use goodness in every situation. Meditation is a way of giving power back to the soul, to the inner self. And so some people use mantras. You know, mantras are like affirmations, you know, keep repeating the affirmation. It's good. But I think the inner mantra, the inner affirmation of knowing that I have another little thing here to show you. This is who you really are. You were born to just be an angel. And you see the angel is holding, can you see those who are online? The angel is holding a little heart. You know, this is what we were born for. We were born to come into this world and to exchange love, to exchange good wishes. But what we have done instead is we have absorbed negativity from the world and we have blocked our hearts. And sometimes we need a bit of help from an external source or a doctor to help to put a stent in, you know, to unblock the artery. And the greatest stent to actually unblock any artery is love. When you feel loved, when you love yourself, then it helps you to let go of past pain and hurt. It helps you to let go of things that have stuck to you. You know, the way people have treated you, the difficulties that you faced, the way you may have treated others, things that have got stuck inside and that are creating those blockages. And so self-love, self-care And sometimes even getting help from someone else, outside, really help to unblock the heart. And we can go back to being who we are. Because one sign of blockage is that I see negativity in others. The second sign of blockage is holding expectation towards others. I expect you to be a certain way. It's the opposite of acceptance. It's the opposite of seeing virtues. So I'm going to end there, and I'd like to just finish the session with some meditation. So sit comfortably wherever you are and just really be aware that you're seated on a chair. Be aware of the room. And just remind yourself that you are a guest in this world. You're a traveler through life. And just for a few moments, close your eyes and see below you the journey of your life. See when you were born. See the circumstances in which you were born, your parents, your home. See yourself as a baby, a young child, and then how you grew, and all the experiences, all the challenges, the difficulties. See yourself as a young adult. Maybe some of you left home and went to study. Some have got married. Some have had children. Some have a professional life. See how life's journey has not been straight. It's been here and there. But yes, it's been in constant movement. And here you are today. And ask yourself today, who do I want to be in 2024? What would I like to be feeling at every moment in 2024? What would I like to be expressing in my relationships? What would I like to be using as a quality when life gets difficult and I have challenges? How do I want to see myself in the future? And then ask yourself, what's blocking my growth today? What is it inside of me that I'm not ready to let go of? What am I not ready to face? What do I know is inside me that needs to be healed? That needs to be sorted out? As I stay still within myself and I reflect, I'll be able to see the lessons that life has been trying to teach me. I'll be able to heal my heart, expand my heart, clean my blockages, release the pain. Release the hurt. To be at peace. It's okay to look back at life's journey occasionally to see how far you've come. But really moving on is an art of always looking forward. Thank you. So just to end the session, it's just a reminder, that your life is ultimately made of your thoughts. And if I want to move ahead in life and I want to do something different to what I've done, I really need to learn to think differently, to process differently, to feel differently. Somehow internally, I need to change the way I think and feel from negative to positive. Any of you who knows a little bit about electricity or electrical devices, there's something called a transformer. Have you heard about a transformer? It changes, is it DC into AC or AC into DC? It's different types of electricity anyway. And so what I want to do is in my life, take anything that feels like it's been negative and transform it into something positive. Even what's coming to me today, if it's negative, see it with the eyes of positivity, the eyes of learning, the eyes of growth. And if I do that, I can only go onwards and upwards. So if there's no other questions, no other comments, then thank you for joining. It's been a lovely 1 hour that we've spent together. And I hope that you've taken something from today. So just before we end, can you just type if you're online or say one thing you learned today that's going to help you? Tell me one thing you take away that might be different to what you knew, or maybe a reinforcement of something you know. That's the tax you have to pay for coming to the class. Anything? Did you hear anything that was good today that you take away as a lesson?
And to see everything good from out and to the best.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on that.
See everything as being good, outside and inside. So it's like you have to wear glasses, that say just the best. See good, If you wear green glasses, everything looks green. Red glasses, everything looks red. So now you have to put on the spectacles that it's all good. Yeah.
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Yes. Very good. Anyone online? Any lessons?
Like it's accepting oneself and reflecting to move forward in life.
Yes.
Leo says see qualities and accept yourself.
Yes.
Harriet says accept whatever comes.
Great. Yes. Cleo, lovely to see that you're online, and really acceptance and knowing that everything comes only to teach me to be a better human being. There's nothing bad and nothing wrong. And no one bad and no one wrong out there. Everyone's just playing a different role, and that's the best they can do for now. Just hold goodness.
This is acceptance with patience.
Yes, lots of patience. Okay, so when the going is really tough and you're feeling that things are really difficult, that's the time to remember. It's going to push you very high. It's going to make you really grow in many, many ways. So thank you for joining, and I hope we see you next Saturday. I think next Saturday's workshop is what is next Saturday's workshop, Arif? Do you know? Not sure, let me just checking, but yeah, you,
Tuesday, maybe.
Tuesday.
that's yeah, next Tuesday will be the meditation course. I'll just check for next Saturday's workshop because, all are welcome to come in person or to join online. So next Saturday's workshop is, yes, actually it's Arif. Arif's going to be doing breathe and de-stress. So it's another wonderful one. Arif is actually the guru of breathing and releasing tension from mind, but also from the body. And Arif is also a good teacher to breathe and to change the way you think and to change, the neural pathways in your body. So it'll be an excellent workshop even for beginners. Do pass it on to friends and family. Breathe and de-stress. Who doesn't need that? I think we all do. So take care and have a lovely afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are. And see you next Saturday.